Hey, everybody, this is John Delarier, host of the Big Roofs podcast. Today, I have a really special guest. We've been chatting a lot before we hit record, but Piers Dormeyer, the CEO of EagleView. And I was a roofing contractor for almost a decade, so I used a lot of EagleViews, thousands of them. And I'm excited just to get to chat professionally, but also just like hear about what's going on new with EagleView. And hopefully this conversation can be helpful for you as a contractor when you're choosing your roofing measurements. So thanks for coming on today.
Yeah, thanks for reaching out. Glad to be here.
So EagleView has always been, in my opinion, the leader of this whole space. There's a lot of other competitors in the space that I've also used and have been helpful for my roofing business before I sold it. Tell me, I know there's a lot of different things that are going to be changing. And as this podcast gets released, the changes may have already happened. How do you see EagleView moving forward? This is 2025 in the future. And how can roofing contractors, like as these new changes happen, where do you want to position yourself as a measurement provider in the roofing industry? And is that going to change drastically moving forward?
No, it's absolutely not going to change drastically. I think that, yeah, we kind of invented this category almost, it's been maybe 15 years ago. It's been a long time, even more than that. And it's really important. The structural measurements for properties is obviously one of the core things that we do and provide to not just roofing contractors, but lots of different types of customers across lots of different industries. But I will tell you that the category is more than just about roof reports and some measurement data. Because what's happened is over time, and one of the key differences about EagleView and versus other people that might provide measurements for a roof is kind of the underlying data that all of that comes from. So we fly airplanes every day, lots and lots of airplanes out there. And we are constantly innovating around that capture and the quality of that image, the quality of those pixels that come out of those cameras and that capture that we do. And what's happening, we kind of invented this way of taking those two-dimensional images and turning them into a three-dimensional wireframe. And we did that with a certain level of capture back in 2008, 9, and 10. And, the roof report was born. But what's happened over the last really few years is that resolution and that quality of imagery has gotten so good that we're able to do so much more than we were able to do in the past. So we started finding ourselves saying, hey, we can do this now. And, roof condition, that's pretty cool. And now we can start to look around the whole perimeter of the property and just pull insights that we just never even thought we could pull before. But now the imagery is not like 2 or 3 times better, but like 10 times better. So as this capability increased, just the possibilities exploded. So what EagleView's kind of moved into is this idea of deriving more insights, because we think that's really where the power is. It's just by being able to provide these answers that hopefully our customers can turn into profitability, be that through being able to land more sales or find an upsell opportunity or just save time in their processes. So we're really focused on asset intelligence and not just measurements, but really a lot more, a lot of any of those attributes that are really around that property or that asset. So how are we, what's really changing? Well, the idea, and this is kind of Captain Obvious showing up here a little bit, is we've got a platform that we'll be releasing here in about a week, and it's called EagleView One. And EagleView One is in essence a digital experience. It's a superstructure that unifies everything that we have and puts it all under one roof, maybe pun intended, but you're going to be able to get that roof data in kind of a 3-dimensional context where you'll see all of that on your screen, but you'll be able to manipulate the roof. You'll be able to spin that around. You'll also see the imagery and the environment around that. You're going to be able to do things like turn off facets and turn on facets and kind of customize that that particular offering, which is features that our customers have been asking for a while. But then what you're going to start seeing is these other tooling that will also come in. So you'll be able to start looking at more of those data points around the property, like some of the ones I mentioned before, penetrations and condition data. We'll be bringing in other property data layers on top of that, and then we'll be integrating in our drones, and it's just a ton of features. Then there's the AI tools on top of that, and the ability to query over that imagery and just get the information that you need, like you're used to experiencing with some of the tools like ChatGPT out there. But all of these are on that roadmap. So what's kind of crazy is it's less about us kind of guessing and building a product and taking it out to market like we've historically done in the past, and more about let's just put it all together and let's enable our customer to do what they want with the imagery and the data, and then hopefully tell us how it's working, right? So that we can put more horsepower in the areas where we think it's going to be the most beneficial for our customers.
That makes sense. I had the privilege of some of your team doing a demo of this last week, and the two things that you kind of mentioned were roof age. That's kind of like makes sense. If you guys have got the airplanes and you've got the images, it's kind of easy to see that was this roof replaced or not replaced over this many years. The cool thing you just kind of mentioned too was roof condition. And I was like, how is this? I kind of pushed back on it when I was like, how is this going to happen? And then it's exactly what you just said. The quality of the image is very clear to be just the layman looking at the demo that I was watching. Is like, this makes total sense and will be massively helpful for lots of industries to understand what the roof condition's in, and then being able to leverage that with your prospect or potential homeowner to say, hey, this is your condition, this is your age, this is why we are giving you I foresee in my roofing business, we always tried to push the envelope for giving information quicker than anyone else, whether that was measurements, whether it was a proposal that told that customer story. We're always trying to kind of wow. That was like kind of my goal personally about 5 years ago, is like, how can I wow this customer with how much information I know about their home and how much detail I'm putting in as a roofing contractor to making sure that I solve their problem. And countless times we had that strategy, and it worked in our favor because it showed that we were really professional and we really cared about the specific problem that homeowner needed. And everything you're talking about just supports that. Just if you're well equipped with this tool to actually be a leader in your market, to actually provide a better solution, a more accurate solution. And that was always my mentality is professionalism, accuracy, and providing the most unique solution for that home. Tell me, I know there's another thing kind of moving outside of EagleView One. There's a subscription model that's coming down the line. And I know that
yes,
we talk about price so much, and I push back a lot. It's no secret. I've done other podcasts about how I think that if you're going to save $20 here to lose $1,000 here for wrong measurements, it's just a hilarious equation. But I also understand that a lot of company owners are becoming more sensitive and understanding their numbers better. And so they're seeing this number, but they're not understanding that it's preventing a lot of measurement errors and thus material order mistakes and thus slowing the production time down. There's a lot of issues when you don't have the correct measurements. And it's like being a dead horse with this, with all the contractors I talk about. And they're like, why are you going to spend this much more? Talk to me about price. How is the subscription model going to help alleviate that or give some more consistency in overhead or direct costs? What does that look like kind of moving forward as it launches? Yeah,
I mean, there's so many places I can go there, but you're absolutely right. I was in Houston last week at a hotel, and I came down to grab a cup of coffee while I was waiting for my Uber to go to the airport. and it was like $6.41 for a medium black coffee. Whatever Starbucks calls a medium, I refuse to use those words. But yeah, people are just getting. I mean, it's no wonder that people are price sensitive right now across really all aspects of the business. It doesn't matter if it's measurements or the price for a roll of ice and water shield. It's people are just are beat down across multiple dimensions. So it's well understood. But your point about there's places you want to save money and there's places that you really don't. And kind of going back to the risk of being wrong. It's that idea that, I mean, one of the very first things that you do as a roofing contractor, that phone rings, that lead comes in, is you've got to get some measurements and actually, prepare an estimate, prepare a quote. And 5%, 3%, 4% off in a measurement from true, that you carry that error all the way down the line to the other bazillion steps that you have before you're completed with the project. So, and it only gets worse from there because you just multiply on the errors. So that's one of those places you want to be really careful. But I do think you should keep us honest too, right? So we think we take it really seriously. We have a lot of QA and QC checks. So we go out and we fly our airplanes and we make sure that everything is perfect before we ship our measurements out. So that's important. We're not going to be cutting quality because we think that is what defines EagleView. But with that said, it's been really difficult as running this business over the years as it's grown and building a pricing model that works equally for all of the different segments and sub-segments of roofing contractors, not to mention other types of customers that might buy our products as well across other industries. But if you really think about it, your business in Athens and Savannah, I assume you're doing quite a bit of retail. Maybe you're mixing in a little bit of commercial in there. You've got different needs for both sides of the business. That's radically different than Storm's doing restoration work. And it's radically different than if you're a multifamily specialist or someone who's doing a handful of, residential re-roofs, but has a big maintenance business. Mm-hmm. Even your approach to marketing and sales can dramatically change, whether you're targeting high volume or high end homes. So finding that perfect model's been challenging. So essentially, the subscription model is supposed to be flexible enough that we can ask some questions to the contractor, understand their business a little bit, kind of tailor that pricing plan to the actual roofer. So it's going to feel a little bit like unlimited, as opposed to this idea that you have this transactional, put a quarter in, get a roof report out. It's going to be a lot more kind of around what does your usage look like across these peaks and valleys, and then try and get something that smooths all that out. So the vast majority of our customers are very high on it, very positive. We've been testing the model for about 6 months. So there's a couple hundred roofing contractors that are already on the pricing plan, but this is also part of EagleView One. You sign up for the subscription model, you're getting everything that comes with EagleView One. And I'll just say again, with EagleView One, you could think about this less as a specific software product that you log into, although you're going to have some of that, but almost more like something like an Amazon Prime, where you're signing up for this thing, and then we'll just be adding to this offering as we go forward. So
nice. It's a really powerful thing, and again, moving the needle ahead of what the industry or any industry really expects or their customers expect. We talk about delighting our customers at ProLine. We talk about that all the time. It's the same thing. Like, we want to provide an experience that surprises and delights people in a positive way. And having information, if you can just equip somebody who, about half our customers are retail and half are insurance. restoration. And so there's a lot of canvassing on both sides.
Yeah.
The canvasser is going to look different moving forward. There's whether or not certain bills in certain states pass or not, the expectation from the homeowner is going to be drastically increased. So if you can talk at a high level about someone's home that you just walked up to because you have the information you need, it's a really valuable thing. And people are going to expect it. They're going to expect like, oh, this is AI or some sort of magic technology. But they're going to expect that moving forward. The speed at which technology is moving right now is faster than it's ever been. The LLMs, they're learning all of these things to help all facets of our life be more efficient. Yeah. Now, is it a good thing or a bad thing? We don't really know yet. For what we've seen is going to be really helpful for a lot of people that own businesses and people that work in those businesses. So I'm super excited about what EagleView 1 is and how, as you guys add features, things that I can't even think of right now that I'm sure you'll get feedback about. And on top of the subscription model, that's something that's having predictability too as a business owner is really important.
I mean, to your point, you're engaging homeowner now, whether it's a retail roof in Tampa or it's a restoration project in Oklahoma City. That homeowner is a heck of a lot more educated than they ever were before, and they have higher expectations than they've ever had before. Just the purchasing experience with Amazon, with going and you can buy a car on Tesla's website with about 6 clicks. So that's what you're competing with, the old school way of just showing up with graph paper and smoking cigarettes and thinking you're just gonna bowl them over and walk away with the win. It just doesn't work that way. So we're trying to, again, unlock everything that we can to give you the best shot of success. And even for like ProLine, right? Everything that we're doing on that EagleView 1 side of things, we have this network of partners like yourself. We're going to make that available because our customers, maybe they want to log into some EagleView screen. Chances are they're going to be wanting to work within your environment because that makes more sense for how they do their job. So everything that we're building, we'll have that available through the developer platform, and you can get the keys and just run with it. So
yeah, we're loving it. We'll say. There's a lot of I'm the head of partnerships. So I deal with a lot of these conversations with like potential partners. And I know that you're on a podcast with me right now, but for real, your team has been one of the most pleasant teams to work with. Like they care. They understand the big picture. They understand what makes like most sense. Everything you just said about staying on roofers want to stay on the same platform. They don't want to like leave and go to this and leave to go to that. They want it all there, like the all-in-one thing, but for real, the all-in-one tool, the platform that actually helps run their business. I think I had something on my mind and I lost it just now, but it was something. Oh, I know what it was. The Tesla story. Yeah. That's actually how I started. So in like 2019, before COVID, I bought a Tesla for my wife like that. We're watching Netflix and click, click, click. And I was like, all right, if I just did that, why are people not doing the same kind of thing? Like I started to like really use technology to help sell roofs online. Mm-hmm. And it's only gotten more. The adoption rate is exponentially increased. Yeah. From that year, 2019 through, COVID was great. It was like the perfect test for us because everybody was at home. And so we couldn't even go meet people in the kitchen. So, but it kind of changed our culture for the expectation for these major purchases. And it happened to be a home service purchase. Now, people are just really used to making big purchases online, especially like just on their phone, just doing it there, signing it, moving forward. And that's only going to increase. If you're a roofing contractor watching or listening to this and you don't think that's true, you really need to change your mindset because it's only going to get more intensely like that. We're going to have, I mean, I know this for a fact that we'll have AI on almost every successful home service company, HVAC, any kind of home service. They're going to have AI agents answering phones and making phone calls to all these homeowners. And that is not going to change. Like that is going to go moving forward. That's it.
Yeah. And I'll jump into that. 2 points. So the first one, I have been in the roofing business for a while now, almost 25 years. You and I are not that far apart in age, but I didn't come up as a contractor. I came up through the manufacturing side of things, and I worked in both the residential and on the commercial side. And I've been in marketing and now technology for the last, 15 years. But I was one of the skeptics about buying roofs online. COVID absolutely changed everything for sure, but I was always of that mind. You're talking about, a $20,000 roof. Are you really just going to go and click through and here, put in the credit card for the deposit and here we go? There's like no way. Just couldn't get my mind wrapped around that whole all the work that you got to do, potential sources of risk, which are largely able to be handled through just building smart contracts, et cetera, et cetera. But I was like, yeah, maybe I would have a hard time. Guess what? Mrs. Dormeyer, no problem. Mm-hmm. Like she's selecting her weatherwood and away she goes, right? Like that's the end of the story, because frankly, minimizing the kind of interruptions to the day and the distractions, and finding time for multiple meetings with a consultant, with a salesperson. It's not that these are bad people. It's just that everybody's got this expectation of how they're going to do business that we just need to kind of get hip to. But yeah,
I love that. Thanks for sharing, because there were a lot of people like telling me I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
some of the best 5-star reviews we ever got as a company. No one on my team had met the homeowner even after they paid the final invoice. It was only a site superintendent. Like they work from home too. This is like people that are like, I don't want to meet anybody. 5-star review. They're like sharing all their pictures to all their best referrals. Yeah. People they're like, you're lying. And I was like, in the beginning, to be fair, it was only about 15%. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a huge percentage, but I mean, year over year, that was 2019. Then obviously COVID, it drastically jumped up. It was about 45%. And then after that, I mean, it was just on. I mean, the vast majority of our sales moving forward were primarily, there's sometimes we had to, we met somebody, they just want to see us one time, but a lot of it was just a phone call. Yeah. Like one phone call to a sales rep. Great. Thanks. I didn't have to set aside half my day to have 3 roofers come and do the same thing and pitch me for an hour and whatever it was. They just wanted it done. They want to see the professionalism. And we actually did, our roof measurements were in our proposals. So like we were giving them the data, like we know what we're talking about. This is where we're coming up with these prices. It's because we have EagleView on there. And we would consistently, what's EagleView? We would say, well, the majority of insurance carriers use EagleView. We use the same measurements because we believe that they have the most accurate measurements. And that's what it was. Just like, that was it. That was the length of the conversation.
Yeah, like you got to have that in your bag. You got to have that in your bag. Oh, the other thing I was going to tell you just came up. You're talking about AI in your business. One of the things that we're working on right now, working with, and this is one of the ones that just blows my mind, but we're working on ways to better engage our customers, better customer service, experience when that's required, especially as you're starting to put more stuff out. And we started playing around with some of these AI chatbots and agents that are speaking foreign languages. Mm-hmm. So Spanish, it's easy enough to find folks that can speak Spanish, but obviously it's really important demographic in our industry. So we want to make sure that we have that covered. It's really important that you write the script properly. I think you want to identify the fact that you're dealing with an AI assistant, but when you actually start to interact and engage with these tools, they're getting really good. Not perfect, but really good for just bridging maybe some of that gap. What's really cool though is when you start thinking about these communities and you've got these enclaves where there's a significant population. You've got the Portuguese in New Jersey. You've got Romanians in the Delmarva area and around Baltimore. You've got a huge Polish population in Chicago. You've got a big Korean population in LA. Guess what? They need roofs too. And those are people that a lot of times we just don't even engage with because it's frankly too difficult. So I just start thinking about how we can blend in these types of tools so that we can just be so much more engaging, so much more effective with all these different groups that it's pretty staggering how much that technology is developed.
I love that. That is so forward thinking of like, I mean, obviously thought of Spanish. That's an easy one. We actually intentionally have a majority of our staff are bilingual, Spanish, English, because of that. And the AI agents that we're training right now, we're trying to hit, I just told today, this is going to get released after they're getting released on ProLine. So I think we're releasing 28 agents because we want the owner of the business, and you kind of just touched on that for different parts of the country. We want them to identify with their agent as much as possible. And so dialect is really important. We don't have every language, but I'm sure we'll go down that rabbit hole, and we will definitely create agents for literally every type of owner. I mean, it's very, very forward thinking. And I didn't think about that, about how we just kind of, if they're small groups, it's very difficult to communicate with, can't really serve them. So I really do love that. That's AI is amazing. I still don't understand majority of it, but I do appreciate it at a high level. And I think you said it's not perfect now. It's just crazy to think that it's June 2025 now, and literally June 2026, it will be saying something different. It'll be like, oh, it's perfect. Because I play with these little AI agents. You take an image. That's it. No video. You don't record video, don't record your voice, anything. And it creates a whole video of you. And that's just a consumer product now. You just can just go and get that. It's going to get crazy.
Yeah. There's, one of our favorite companies out there that we're working with right now is Gainsight. Gainsight's developed some AI agents that will record you. And let's say you're a B2B company, and let's say you're a roofing contractor, and you've got, I don't know, a bunch of HOAs that you currently work with for multiple different types of projects. And if you just wanted to go and give your customer a 60-second kind of business review, status of your account, whatever, it can train based on 30 seconds where probably just feed them this podcast, and it's going to understand your personality. And then it's just going to go and take all the information that you need, and it's going to email it to that CFO or whoever you're working with. And guess what? That CFO, they probably don't really want to take your call and go through this, but the 60 seconds worth of information is really, really valuable.
Yep.
So to me, I was always a little bit hesitant to deploy those things because I'm used to dealing with people and interacting that way, but it enables me to actually get the information I need. And then when I want to sit down and grab coffee or have lunch with you or something, then I got all that right now. I can focus on building that relationship and not having to worry about juggling all the numbers. And I can make sure that at scale, I can at least cover all my bases and make sure that I'm giving my customers what I need. It's really interesting tech. Very cool.
I love it. All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming on today. I think we covered a lot of things. Anything else you want to talk about before we go?
No, exciting times. We just want to hear from our customers out there, our roofing contractors and our partners. It's really important that we get that feedback. We're really excited about what's coming. So if you want more information, you know how to get us. There's also a whole new look to EagleView that's launching next week as well in conjunction with EagleView 1. So I think everybody's going to like it. We're really excited about it. It's bold. It's great. New website. All of that's hitting. And I'm always available. So reach out and look forward to talking to you.
Thanks again for coming on, and thanks for watching, everybody. Big Roofs Podcast. Talk to you again soon.